Okay, so I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and I couldn't get this out of my head. Okay, so we have the sun and, well, make that bigger, the sun and planets out here and here. Okay, so if there was a planetoid or that had been caught up in this or been knocked out of orbit, first I thought, well, wouldn't it go like this? Sorry, drawing one-handed sucks. And I thought getting a spin from both the sun and each of the stronger gravitational objects, and that it'd just slide back in. Then I thought, well, wouldn't it go more like a seesaw? Back and back. Or would it go, I'm sorry about my sketching, or would it go more like a swing, with the sun being on the downward slope, or upward slope if you prefer that way, since there's no up and down in space. But between all this, all the two planets and the sun would be other smaller planets. What kind of gravitational pull, or what kind of effect would this have on those planets? Then I thought, well, wouldn't it be more like a spiral? Now, I don't have the math to do this in my head. I'm a visual thinker. So I thought, there's the sun. Wouldn't it go more like, there's a planet and there's a planet, more like around, out, around, down, around, out, around, down, but it'd be in a spiral pattern. So it'd be, now what would the math be to make that so that it is more, so that it is stable and wouldn't cause that strange planetoid to, or astronomical object, whichever you want to call it, to not degrade into such a point where it would collide into the sun? Or is that what it's doomed to do, to collide into the sun instead of doing the swing? And with that thought, I couldn't sleep. But then again, and I thought, well, what would it... Then I started thinking about black holes, and my brain just would not shut up. So, here's a black hole. Black hole. Oh, I'm running out of pen. Black hole. Right? Just a simple accretion disk, I think it's called. But then I've thought about what the space it's like is going to be looking like. And I thought, well, it's more like an eddy, isn't it? Like water. So it would spins down. But at some point, the object that was spinning would either spin out, or it would actually cause the tunnel in the black hole to collapse in on itself, which would cause that to eddy out to nothing. And it would leave this as something either very slowly spinning or because of the gravitation is still there, or would it just spin and then go to nothing and then be just traveling along in the river or the water? Now the eddies, the space itself, I thought, well, could that be dark matter or some sort of matter that does not emit light or catch light? Because if it's like that, then if you think about rubber, a really, really thin, like balloon, it pops it. If you put something in it, it'll bend down. And if you sometimes as that space around it bends, it will pop back out. But as it is an eddy, if it's an eddy type thing, if it's so hard to explain. Sometimes the spinning comes back and it becomes stronger than ever. And then sometimes it just spins out again as the flow of space around it or water around it. Then I realized that if this collapsed in on itself, it would spit out whatever had been being pulled in. And so you'd get the what we've all thought of, seen on the as a spitting out of like a jet of water or or objects anyway, that would spin back out. Now, I doubt a black hole is going to be flat. I think it's probably more of a orb with a sucking in it. I'm not sure how to do this. More like that, except the sides are flexible. So I'm not able to make the math, but that's what's been going through my head since 4 this morning. So if anyone can figure out the math and tell me if it's possible with the black hole and the maybe call it a silent sister or whatever it was, because it was in my head as a silent sister, as a planetoid that's more like a comet, except it's going around planets and the sun, and not out of the system itself. I'm not sure if you call that a comet or not, but or if it's just a floating asteroid, but it's the size of about the moon maybe, and or a larger system. Whether it would be able to have a gaseous surface or whether it would need to be fully solid like Mercury or Mars without much, if any, of an atmosphere. So that is what my brain has been doing since 4 this morning. Okay, thank you. Can someone tell me if this is possible? If it's, well, it might not be probable, but if it's actually a workable hypothesis. Okay, thank you.